So you got this woman, Kat somebody. She's running for Congress in Illinois, congressional candidate from Illinois, Kat Abughazaleh. Ghazali and 5 others have been criminally charged in a federal indictment over obstructing ICE. This guy claims, yeah, that just won her primary. Here is something that had happened. So she's, protesting this ICE facility. And then we have this right here, right? They're pushing her, and then they just throw her. And that was a hard hit. I mean, she lands on her butt pretty hard right there. So I don't really see what she is doing that's wrong. They're going to say that, obstructing justice or some shit. You got to really pay attention to these protests because you have a right to protest. This is America. You have a right to protest. But this guy, he's not arresting her. He's not saying, hey, you're under arrest. He's pushing her, throws her down on the ground. She falls on her butt, and then she just kind of... Well, let's look at it one more time. Okay, so, that looks really bad. It looks really bad because it looks like ICE just threw some woman down on the ground and then just, kept on going. Now this damn heater is going. Let's see. Let's listen to Kat a little bit.
In the 9th District of Illinois, the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear gassed hundreds of protesters, simply because we had the gall to say that masked men coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods, this administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence. But we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grabs. And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now, but we have to overcome that fear. This case targets our rights to protest, speak freely, and associate with anyone who disagrees with government. And while we have seen the unhinged and unlawful tactics this administration has used against the American public, it's important to remember they're doing this because they are scared.
So this is quite courageous for this Kat Abughazaleh. This is very courageous for her to do this because she's kind of, just poo-pooing the whole damn thing. But if she's been indicted by the federal government, she's going to have to go to court, and there's going to be prosecution, and maybe she'll be able to fundraise off of it. Maybe she'll be able to get some money, for the thing, because, her getting thrown down was pretty fucking hard. That was like, god damn. Motherfucker just, takes her and shoves her down to the ground. They already did it to that senator, right, Alex Padilla, for asking a question. They're bombing people, off the coast of the Caribbean. They're just fucking killing people, and they're saying, oh, it's Hamas, or narco-terrorist, or Viet Cong, or some shit. Just doing all this extrajudicial shit. They don't care about the Constitution. They're saying, fuck the 22nd Amendment, right? Fuck birthright citizenship. Fuck the Constitution over and over again. So she's saying that she's going to carry on with the campaign, she's going to fight the thing, and then she doesn't seem very intimidated, which is, I'm happy about, but I also fear for Kat Abughazaleh, because what if the case doesn't go her way, What if the case doesn't go her way, and what's she going to get, fucking 5 years in goddamn prison or some shit? She's running for Congress. We need Kat Abughazaleh in Congress. So we definitely need for her to win this case. We need these charges to be dismissed. And if it goes to a jury trial, we need for that jury to acquit her of these charges, these bullshitted charges. And then if they got the indictment, that means there's already, 12 fucking assholes that's saying, okay, it looks like the evidence is she was obstructing justice. Yeah, okay, she was thrown down to the fucking ground. Isn't that an assault? Anybody think that's an assault? The majority report is doing some sort of thing about it. we're in an emergency right now. The answer to authoritarianism isn't to be quiet. She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I think Kristi Noem should have consequences. She should be tried at The Hague. It's not normal to have masked men rappelled down from helicopters into apartment buildings to arrest families in the middle of the night. She's absolutely right. You know, Mamdani is going to win. All he has to do is stay above the fray, just look sharp, look good, keep talking to the camera, talking to the press, making his speeches, pass out his literature and shit. Because for every goddamn overreach of authoritarian bullshit that you see in the United States, you know, or in Israel just bombed 104 more Palestinians. 104 more Palestinians, dozens and dozens of children got killed. Well, Jesus Christ. Israel's going to be the rock that breaks the neoliberal, the neocon and neoliberal world order. People are sick of Israel's shit. Why should we fight and die for Israel's goddamn right to genocide? They don't have a right to genocide. The goddamn pit bull is terrorizing the neighborhood and they're killing a bunch of kids. You don't keep financing the pit bull. You tie your fucking pit bull up. You tie your pit bull up and keep him in the yard. You pull on the leash. You chain that dog up. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? So, let's take a look at what the majority report is saying about this.
Hey, this is Senator John Ossoff in Georgia. $5. Can you chip in $5? I've got...
If y'all want to react, I think Kat posted to a response on Twitter, responding to her indictment.
My name is Kat.
The fact that 10% of the population is consuming 50% of the stuff and 20% consuming 80% of the stuff speaks to the material deprivation of the vast majority of Americans. That all our economic numbers that are in any way positive, which are increasingly less, are simply a function of the wealthy having extraordinary success. It's literally like me and Bill Gates are in a room, and the average is that we are average has $70 billion or whatever it is. But the fact is that I don't have $70 billion.
And if
why is it
for sale in the office, he would win in the bidding immediately.
The problem with it propping up a market, whether it's like the stock market or any other market, is literally
drop the excuses and grow a fucking spine. I'm Kat Abughazaleh, and I'm running for Congress in Illinois' 9th District. Unfortunately, this party has become one where you have to look to the exceptions for real leadership, as the majority work from an outdated playbook. We need a makeover, which means we need a vision that's bigger than what we've been told is possible. There is absolutely no reason you shouldn't be able to afford housing, groceries, and healthcare with some money left over. Families should have free childcare, Social Security should be expanded, and our inalienable rights shouldn't be dependent on who's in power. That means standing up to authoritarians, not shrinking away when the fight gets tough. And while current Democratic leadership might be fine cowering to Trump, I'm not. I've spent my entire career reporting on the far right, and being attacked by them as a result. In fact, just a few months ago, Elon Musk's lawyers deposed me here in Chicago to ask about my mean tweets. Look, I thought comedy was legal again. This is all to say, I'm not scared of standing up to these people. I know how they think, and I know how to beat them. But my campaign itself is going to be different too, because I don't want to wait a year to help people. We're focused on meeting constituent needs with one simple rule. What if we didn't suck? My campaign and I would rather spend our money on book drives and clothing exchanges and public events than fancy fundraisers for rich donors. I also want my campaign to be as transparent as possible. That's why I'll be posting regular videos about the costs and steps of running for office. We all deserve better. We deserve human rights and financial freedom and a party that stands up to authoritarians. We deserve to thrive, not just survive. And I plan to fight for those ideals both on the campaign trail and in Congress. If you want to know more about me and what I believe, you can go to catforillinois.com. I do need to mention that campaigns cost money and ask you to contribute what you can. But I promise your donation will not be wasted on old, ineffective tactics. No spammy guilt trip texts, no focus groups to test my views, and no grifty consultants who care more about their paycheck than actually winning. It's time to challenge the status quo, and if our leaders won't do it, we will. I'm Kat Abughazaleh, and I'm running for Congress because it's time for Democrats to do more.
Luxury buyers.
I mean, what goes on in like downtown Brooklyn is a perfect example of this. Like every day there's another 300 units being built, but the price never seems to drop.
Yep. Abundance.
It's really, I mean, when you're just talking about strictly as like these like investment markets, it's about stability. If you don't have,
They're saying that this Kat Abughazaleh is facing 8 years in prison. 8 years in prison. And then it says that the indictment misspells Kat Abughazaleh's name. Yeah, big shocker there. And then is this the indictment right here? So let's see here. United States of America versus Michael Rabbit, Catherine Marie Abughazaleh, Andre Martin, Catherine Sharp, Brian Straw, and Jocelyn Walsh. Special June 2024 grand jury charges at times material to this indictment. Agent A was a U.S. law enforcement officer assigned to an administrative role. We're not even going to say who the damn officer is. Agent A, Agent X. See, on or about September 23rd, on or about, right around September 23rd. You don't even know what date this shit happened. Agent A, we don't know the person, we don't know the date. Detailed to serve an assignment for ICE in the Northern District of Illinois. Let's see, defendant, Michael Rabbit. Let's see, defendant, Catherine Marie Abughazaleh. Yeah, they do misspell it, don't they? They worked with Catherine Sharp, Brian Stroll, Jocelyn Welsh. Oh my God, what the fuck? Like, what, under seal? So that means we're not allowed to read this? We're not allowed to look at this? Thomas C. Bruton, clerk, U.S. District Court. He's going to stamp this shit. Was it 7 days ago it was stamped? Judge April M. Perry. Magistrate Judge Heather K. McShane. Oh, man. 125 CR 00693. What the fuck? You know, like, what the fucking fuck? Jesus Christ. Apparently she was born Palestinian. Is that what I hear? Or she's just culturally Palestinian? Or she's born American? I mean, she gets away with looking Caucasian, blue-eyed Caucasian. Is that natural blonde hair? So yeah, vote for Kat Abughazaleh. Maybe if she, I don't know, I mean, she'll still get a right to vote, right? She'll beat the case. And then she'll be one of the best goddamn Congress women to ever have graced the halls of the world's most deliberative body.